All right, ladies and gentlemen, the pitch competition. Our final three teams are going to present to our judges. This time it's a little bit longer pitch, so it's not just 3 slides. They get 3 minutes, and then 4 or 5 minutes of Q&A and feedback from the investors. We have Bill Reichert, who always leads this panel for us. We love Bill. So Bill is going to lead this. Bill, come on down. And then we have Rama, Shubra, Jonathan, and Sumit, who are all great investors at this early stage. I know a couple of them personally. Bill, you ready? The one and only Bill Reichert. Please give a warm round of applause.
Thank you. Okay.
I have to give you this, so.
Can I bring the rest of my panel
Yes,
up?
please. You do it.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
Hey, guys, come on out.
All right.
And, all right. So I don't know. So there's no particular order, seating order here. So, all right. Shubra, great. Okay. All right. And Rama. All right. So I think Nima gave all the instructions, right? Did you tell them about the deliberation process or not?
No.
You did not? Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do, for anybody who was here in prior years, what we're going to do a similar sort of open investment committee meeting. So the thesis here is that we're all partners in the same venture fund, listening to entrepreneurs pitch us and trying to convince us to invest in their companies. So we're going to listen, do Q&A, and then we're going to retire in front of you. What we're going to do is have an open investment committee meeting in front of the audience. And we're going to deliberate on which company we think we should invest in. And so what I want you to do, and so here's the thought. I want all of you to consider yourselves to be associates of our firm, okay? So you're all associates of the Startup Conference Venture Club, whatever. So you're all associates. So every once in a while, when we're stumped on something during the investment committee meeting, this is what happens all the time. We turn to the associates and we say, okay, and we ask, and you guys all have to be smart about the companies so that, you feed the partners the truth about each of the companies. So every once in a while, if we get stumped, I'm going to lean on you guys to pipe in and tell us what you think about these companies, about these pitches. So I want you to be ready, okay? So with that, what I want to do is, can I have the judges introduce themselves? And then we'll have the entrepreneurs come out. So let's start with Sumit.
Yep. Sumit Jain, longtime venture capitalist, started at a firm called CMEA Capital, then Intel Capital, and recently launched a firm called 7 Global. We are more of a growth stage fund, Series B and later. We have an office here, an office in Berlin, focused on helping a lot of companies who are starting to grow and grow internationally. Tend to be investing kind of $3 to $10 million at a time. A lot of our capital sources are other people who are other large corporations, large conglomerates, kind of multi-million-dollar companies who are our investors, and they can ideally be customers and partners to the companies we invest in. I started my career as an entrepreneur. I did 2 startup companies, both software companies, and so I think of myself as an entrepreneur before an investor, and super excited to be here.
Great, thanks. JC.
Yeah, my name is Jonathan Charles. Everybody just calls me JC. I work at the Samsung Catalyst Fund here in Silicon Valley. We're a strategic core technology early stage focused fund, which is part of Samsung Electronics. We invest pretty broadly, up to around $5 million or so across digital health, autonomous driving, cloud and data infrastructure, and what we call device solutions, which is basically the components that you might think Samsung might be interested in. The fund is about 5.5 years old. We're actually quite active for a corporate investor. We do at least typically 1 to 3 deals a month. And all the decision making, we're speaking of investment committee. Our investment committee is actually here in Silicon Valley. The team is made up of basically, for the most part, longtime Silicon Valley people. I've been in the Valley for about 12 years. I've worked in a variety of big tech companies and startups.
Okay. All right, Shubhra.
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all here. My name is Shubhra. I am with a fund called Kodak Capital. We are a $200 million fund. We're stage agnostic. We invest in anything from seed to growth stages. So we put in anything from $500,000 to $15 million in check sizes. We both lead the deals and co-invest with other partners. I personally am a physician by background, and I lead healthcare investments for us.
Super. Right.
Thank you.
Fan. Good.
Exactly.
Rama.
Hi, I'm Rama Shekar. I'm a partner at Norwest Venture Partners. We're headquartered in Palo Alto, investing out of a $1.5 billion fund. The firm's been around for 57 years, and we invest in enterprise, which is what I do. We also invest in healthcare and consumer, as well as internationally in India and Israel. I started my career out as an engineer. I was at Cisco and moved into product management before joining Norwest about 9 years ago. And it's great to be here today.
Super. Thanks. And my name is Bill Reichert. I'm Managing Director of Garage Technology Ventures. Garage is a seed and early stage venture capital firm, broadly technology agnostic, but we don't do life science. And then actually the news, one of the updates is this year we affiliated with a larger later stage fund originally out of Japan called Finalists Venture Capital. So they do later stage global investing, and I get to sit on their investment committee as well. So that gives both of us more breadth and depth. So with that, I'm going to ask if Rama, you could switch seats with Shubhra.
Share the mic.
So that you and JC could share the mic. Is that okay?
You got it.
All right, that'll be a little bit more efficient, if that's okay.
Fight over.
And now that we're ready, are we ready for the first entrepreneur? Okay, gang? Here we go. Hash cut. Hey.
Hi, my name is Murli, and I'm a co-founder of Hashcut. And what we do is use AI to automatically create highlights from video games. Now, you might think that video games is a small niche market, but the truth is it's massive and it's exploding. Right now, with YouTube gaming alone, not including the rest of the videos, but just YouTube gaming, is greater in terms of views than HBO, Netflix, Spotify, and ESPN combined. And the numbers are only getting bigger from there. So what do we do in esports? Well, basically, let's take a day in the life of a regular streamer here. Let's say Joanna, she starts streaming at 8 o'clock, and she'll stream for 8 hours playing her games. And at the end of that, though, she then has to spend 3 hours going back and editing those 8 hours of footage, finding a few clips, and then finally she can post them and start to engage with her fans and go to social media. What we want to do is eliminate that editing process and use artificial intelligence to automatically pull the best highlights from her games and instantly be able to post it. So not only does she save those 3 hours, but she can get those highlights out much faster when they're much more valuable when her fans actually want to see them rather than 5 hours later. And this is a problem not just for individual streamers, but for esports professional athletes, professional leagues, and teams, because even though they have a professional staff, that staff still needs time, and they can at best make a few clips, whereas with this, we can auto-generate hundreds of clips at the same time. And soon, we're going to be able to do this live, so that as Joanna is playing her games, we can actually pull the clips and post them before the game is even over. So we launched in December 2017 with a preliminary version that allows fans to make their own custom highlights, not just from video games, but anything on YouTube and Twitch. And we've seen really good traction so far. We've gotten 10,000 hashcuts made, and we're seeing 100% month-over-month growth. And so far, we've been bootstrapped, but we're looking at raising seed funding to be able to build out our AI platform for multiple games. As far as our business model, we look at essentially two models. One is for the individual streamers, a freemium type model where they will be able to pay for additional features to make their streams even more compelling. And then for esports leagues, we would look at partnering with them as a revenue share, because being able to drive further video views, we expect there'd be increase in their advertising revenue, and we would look at revenue shares as part of that. And we believe gaming is just the tip of the iceberg. And this type of AI to make automatic highlights can apply not just to gaming, but other massive markets from entertainment, video surveillance, e-learning. And so we think that this type of technology can expand far beyond just gaming itself. So we have an experienced team with both experience on the media and the tech side. And so we would love to talk to you about our funding, and also if you are a streamer or part of an esports league, we'd love to talk to you as well if you want to get in touch with us at founders@hashcut.com. Thank you.
Super. Okay, great job, Murali. So now, team questions for Murali. Rama, you look like you're ready to go.
I'm going to go first.
All right,
Break
thank
the ice
you.
here.
All right.
So everyone's talking about AI today. Did you invent the AI you're using, or are you using something off the shelf?
So we're using off-the-shelf AI, but what we're looking at is using image analysis, and our sort of secret sauce or special sauce is the data analysis that we do to do the image analysis for the different games. And we do have to do it per game, so we don't have a general strategy for all games, but and that's what we're looking for, is to build it out for multiple games.
Okay, so go ahead.
Can you talk a little bit more about the background of the team, your and your co-founder?
Sure. So I am a bit of a non-traditional thing. I'm a trained neurosurgeon, and that's what I was doing for quite a while.
Of course.
Believe it or not.
Did you say neurosurgeon?
Yeah, I did.
So you're saying this is brain surgery? Is that what you're saying?
Right. It was
okay.
But I was down in Southern California, and as a hobby, I was helping friends edit movies and films. We actually won a few film festival awards and things, and got really into the editing process there. And that's where we thought about, there's got to be an easier way to do this and to open that market up to not just professional editors, but everyone else. And so at that point, I called my other co-founder Vijay, who was working at Google and a payment startup called Adyen at the time, and said, I think we've got this idea. What do you think? And so we both started working at that time. But Vijay was on consumer wallet and payment technologies as well as Google.
When you exit this one, do a healthcare startup next time.
Better yet, can you join our fund as
JC.
the head of the digital health practice?
The head of the neuro practice.
My question is, very interesting market. I've just become exposed to this through my son, who's increasingly gaming. But tell me about the vision. Can you take this somewhere else, like to regular content?
Yeah, and so we do believe that the idea of automated highlights and using AI to do it, we want to expand to other areas. In fact, we looked at e-learning. We looked at, to tell you the truth, we started with real sports. We actually had meetings with the NFL, MLB, and everyone as well. We pivoted to video games because the rights issues are so specific in sports. But the technology itself is there, and that's where we think video games is a great place to start. But we think it can apply to a lot of industries.
Can I ask a question? Actually, maybe it's the reverse of what you just asked, which is, I've seen and used a number of these things for traditional content, like including, I digitized my entire home video library and used technology to compress them all into clips. So, outside of the rights, what else makes this unique than other tools or things that automatically compress and create clips from traditional video?
So one of the things is our back-end technology. We don't actually make any video clips. We don't make any copies. We use embedded players, and we point back to the original videos. Right. So that does a couple of things. Number one is that it drastically reduces our actual resources, which means we can make thousands to hundreds of thousands of clips without any real increase in resource requirements. And that allows us to really customize those clips. So whereas even a professional editor may only make a handful of clips, what we want to do is not just use the AI to create these clips, but then use machine learning to understand the fans' preferences so we can deliver individualized highlights to each fan. When they log into the website, they should be able to get their own highlight reel, and we can do that with the way that we've architected our backend without having to have increasing resources to do that.
So you didn't talk about your proprietary technology, and because there are other guys that do highlights, right? And so how good is your technology? How much of it is off the shelf, and how much of it is proprietary? First of all, how good is it? How many, how many good clips versus bad clips do you get?
So it depends on the data that's available for each game. So for example, our first game is League of Legends, and League of Legends actually has very good data that we can pull directly from the game. And so we can get to 100% of kills, tower kills, players, things like that.
Okay.
For other games, for example, Overwatch doesn't have as much data from the game itself, and that's where we supplement with image analysis and things. And so we, it kind of depends on each game. But
Okay, so we're out of time, but I need the answer to the proprietary stuff. How much of this is you're training an off-the-shelf AI versus you're doing your own algorithms?
We're training off-the-shelf AI. Right.
Okay, all right. And I had to ask, are you partnering with Twitch or not? Does Twitch like you or hate you?
So we haven't partnered with them, but we've talked to them, and they actually like it because one of the things they don't like is that people stream on Twitch and then they post everything on YouTube. And so they figure if this is a way to actually keep them on the Twitch site, that'd actually be beneficial for them compared to having their users go to YouTube. Okay, great. Morali, thanks much. Appreciate it.
Good job. As you can see, he incorporated some of the feedbacks from Adeo this morning. All right. Next, we have Elisa. Maya, did you listen to the feedback this morning? Okay, good job. All right, let's see.
Alicia.
So the story of Alicia starts about 7 years ago. And I was living two parallel lives. In one of them, I was getting a PhD in computer science, while in the other one, I was studying to be an opera singer and became semi-professional pretty quickly. But as a musician, I really wanted to create my own original songs, and I didn't know how to. I tried very hard. A lot goes into creating a single song. I had to learn how to produce. I had to learn how to write lyrics, took piano lessons, improvisation. Tried for many years without any success. Meanwhile, my computer science life is going great. I did a postdoc at Caltech, became a computer science professor, and not a single original song after 3 years. I was about to give up, reasonably. And then at the last moment, it occurred to me that my computer science expertise can actually make my music dreams come true, particularly my expertise in machine learning. And that's how Alicia was born. So the way it works, the original component, the part that I really, really struggled with, was creating vocal melodies for lyrics. So let's say you type in the lyrics, "I am so happy to pitch for you today." And Alicia gives you different ideas for how you might want to sing it. For example, "I am so happy to pitch for you today," or many other options that you then pick from and you put together a song. So this started off as a research project, but the media quickly got wind of it and got in touch with us, New Scientist, NBC News, and then people started emailing me, producers, singers, and just people who wanted to write songs and didn't know how to, much like me. The problem is, if you're thinking about the market, is that there are a lot of tools to help people create background music. But there is nothing that ties it in with lyrics. And people want to express themselves through the kind of songs that you find on the radio that have lyrics and everything. And the market is surprisingly large, both for background music creation and for the part of the market that's all about cover songs. And Alicia is the first one to combine these two so that anybody could write songs, regardless of their expertise. What we're expecting here is a platform for people who have a lot of talent but don't have the time or resources to produce and write lyrics and do every single component, like singing, that takes to write a single song. And so we could expect to have the next Justin Bieber come out of the Alicia platform, because it will give people the extra tools they need to be the stars that they deserve to be. Okay, next slide. A little bit about our team. I already talked about myself. I'm a Santa Clara University professor. Our CTO, David Locher, has done machine learning at Netflix and Amazon.com and has also supervised a team of 10 data scientists. And Christopher Cassian worked at IBM Research and got his master's at Georgia Tech. We also have some business-heavy advisors who have started many successful businesses. All right, we are currently at 750 people on our beta at tryalicia.com, and we're working towards a broad commercial app so that everybody could write original songs in under 5 minutes. I wanted to show just a few seconds of the next song, which was made by somebody who has never played a single musical instrument before, absolutely zero musical expertise. We retrained Alicia on Italian opera for him so he could make this. We're submitting it to film festivals. All right, it goes on for a while. Thank you.
All right. So which of you guys knows Italian? You got it? Okay, all right. So, I'm sorry. Maya. Okay, questions for Maya.
I just have just a basic clarifying question for a second.
Yes.
The vocals, is that still the person who's creating the song who's also doing the singing?
So,
The music's
So at this point, the vocals have to be done by a person, but the problem of having the computer sing compositions is actually in the process of getting solved. In this case, not by us, but Yamaha has a really good Vocaloid. So in the future, we do hope to incorporate automated singing as well.
Okay.
Okay, does the AI help you with the words at all or not?
We have a separate AI component that we just finished writing that does help you with the words. And
Okay.
the app on the phone will include all of these components.
Okay. JC.
Yeah, very impressive. I think
Thank
human
you.
creativity knows no bounds is the old phrase, and now you've taken it even further, if that's possible, right? With
Beyond
AI.
human.
Yeah, beyond human. And curious about the business model, though. What do you envision? How does this play out in terms of an ongoing business?
So to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. Very important question. So we're modeling ourselves as far as the business model after Musical.ly and Smul's apps. So the idea is to provide a free tier, just like in computer games, so that everybody can play. If they can't afford to pay, that's fine. But then if people really love it, they can have extra features if they pay a premium fee. And I also really like the idea of microtransactions. Things like special genres that are only available for 1 week, which you can purchase for $2. But there's a lot of those add-ons that a person can put in. There are other possibilities as well as far as bringing in third parties in to, for example, run a contest on our platform.
Okay, but I didn't hear you say you're not expecting to publish the music, to enable me to publish and sell.
So the
Can I
idea,
publish or sell?
the idea is that you can publish, and we actually want to make it so we don't take any royalties from that. That's our current plan.
Okay. Rama?
It's fascinating stuff. Really interesting application of AI. What when you had me at Justin Bieber, by the way. what happens if you find the next?
You said that out loud?
That's right. You could put that on Twitter.
Really? Okay.
What happens when you find that next artist? Because as soon as they get successful, they may graduate off your platform to a bunch of professionals who could do this for them. What keeps them coming back?
I think a really important part here is to have a supportive community so that they're not just working with our AI, they're also working with each other. They're making lasting connections. And I think it's the social network that will ultimately keep people there as they become better and better musicians themselves. Yeah, I think that's going to matter a lot.
Okay. So now, how many genres do you have at this point?
So right now, we explicitly trained it separately on Italian opera, and on pop, we had those two separately. Right now, it's still a mixed bag, and we plan to separate it for the app that we're going to have coming out.
Maya, I want to start with congratulating you. You're an absolutely phenomenal presenter. You mentioned you have 750 users on the platform right now.
Yeah.
Are any of them paying anything? And also, what are these users doing with your platform right now?
That's right. Okay, very good questions. They're not paying anything right now. We plan to start monetizing when we have the app. What are they doing? So I wish I could just show you the app, but basically they can type in lyrics and then create these vocal melodies for their lyrics, which then you piece together a song. If they don't want to type lyrics, we also have a non-lyric option. And then there's a mode in there for adding drums and adding chords. And that pretty much makes up a whole song. And you can do that in 2-3 minutes.
Okay, so when are you launching? How close are you to launch?
The app, we're hoping to be done by the end of the summer.
Okay, last quick question.
Yep. Have you been able to monitor of the people who've created content? Like what happens with that content? In other words, are you sort of seeing this as being like a really fun thing that you do with a group of friends and you create some content? It's kind of an interesting activity, or can you see that these songs get shared and they take on a life of their own, or what happens to them, to the content that gets created, or does it disappear shortly thereafter?
I think the sharing is very important for them to be able to share it on our platform. That's really important, but also off our platform, so that people can pursue their dreams. And a lot of young people and people of all ages, they dream to be musicians, to have their own music. So we really want to support that in every way that we can. There is also some fun use cases, like creating a song for your loved one on their anniversary, or even for your wedding. So that type of uses too.
Okay, great. We know Rama wants to be Justin Bieber, so that's the, that's the opportunity. Thank you very much. Okay. Wow, guys, this is going to be tough. I don't know. Okay, we got third.
Yes. Jacob, Apollo Robotics. So far, we can see the feedback worked, so they incorporate it. All right, Jacob. Good luck.
Hi, I'm Jake, founder and CEO of Apollo Robotics. We've revolutionized the way that robots do 3D digitization and mapping. Surveying and mapping is a really hard problem. It's complex, it's time-consuming, and it produces tens of gigabytes of dumb data that the data consumer then has to spend a great deal of time analyzing. So who is the data consumer? The data consumer, they're companies that are large construction companies, infrastructure projects, the like. Their biggest problem is that projects take 20% longer than scheduled. They're up to 80% over budget, and in the past 50 years, the per worker productivity has actually declined. So what are they doing to solve this problem? They're spending $195 billion annually on digitizing their operations, 18 of which is just surveying and building and information modeling. Here at Apollo, we've built a system. Here at Apollo, we've taken the best high-speed data acquisition sensors and put them into one system. And we're pairing that with a cloud data analytics platform to create the seamless autonomous surveying solution. But the end game isn't the drone or the sensors, it's our software platform. The survey is a service in the cloud. We're going to provide complete 3D actionable survey data for construction, infrastructure, and mines. But today, we're starting with land surveyors. Since we started outreach just a few weeks ago, we've received $480,000 in signed letters of intent, ranging from one of the world's largest geospatial companies to some of our local surveyors. Additionally, a Hyperloop company just reached out 2 weeks ago about using our system to continuously monitor their infrastructure. Our business model is simple. We're testing out two of them. One, a straight-up purchase for $30,000 and $600 a month for the software. The other is a monthly model, where they pay $1,600 a month. We're a team of 3 with 2 active investors and advisors. We have backgrounds in software engineering, mechanical engineering, and electrical engineering. We're currently in the NVIDIA Deep Learning Program, the Verizon Innovation Program, and we're headquartered out of an advanced additive manufacturing facility. So why now? LiDAR is rapidly becoming more cost-effective. Regulations finally allow for commercial drone operations, and we're on the cusp of a $10 trillion wave of infrastructure spending in which new innovations will increase that productivity. And at the heart of those innovations is digitization. We're currently raising a $3 million seed to develop, build, and ship our first production run and grow our team. There you go.
All right. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Jacob. Guys, what do you think? Huh?
I was quick.
Okay.
If I bought an off-the-shelf drone, put a LiDAR on it, what part of what you've built could I not replicate by taking stuff off the shelf and building it?
So right now, LiDAR mapping with a drone requires an expensive IMU. For survey grade accuracy, these are in the range of $16,000. We've removed that from the equation, just using software. So we've taken techniques from other parallels in technology and applied that to remove that hardware component from the system. And that's our secret sauce.
Wait, because I thought you had LiDAR on your...
It has LiDAR, camera, and thermal.
Okay, so you do use LiDAR.
Oh, we use the LiDAR, but we removed the need for the IMU on the LiDAR.
Oh, okay. All right. Is that clear? Okay, okay.
Let me,
JC.
let me put a finer point on that
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
So I've come across quite a few drone companies. What makes you different from call it the professional drone companies that do surveying and things like this?
Yeah, so there's a few things. The biggest thing is we are the full stack solution, and because we're the full stack solution, and we have the data from end to end, we've used AI to apply analytics on top of the data that we're creating. And because we have LiDAR data and the camera data, we can apply both point clouds and photogrammetry together to identify hotspots faster, more accurately, and we have another dimension of data that these other drone companies that just use cameras for photogrammetry don't have.
What's the compelling thing you've got that saves me tens of thousands of dollars? I mean, okay?
Much faster data and
Faster
data
data.
analytics.
Faster data.
Let me ask another question.
Okay.
Like a good VC, I know enough to be dangerous here. But the regulatory environment is pretty dynamic in drone space. There's things like line of sight that are changing. What risk, if anything, is left in front of you on the regulatory side?
On that side, not too much. So since the Part 107s in 2016, commercial drone operations are much more scalable now. It doesn't take 9 months for approval. We've built our system to be beyond visual line of sight ready. So it is 4G enabled, it has 6 cameras all around it for collision avoidance, and we're working with a company called Iris Automation, which that is their business model, is to do beyond line of sight operations.
So I have a question on the hardware side. Which one of you, who on your team has a hardware background, and what background do they have, and who's your manufacturing partner, or what is your manufacturing plan for these things?
So Connor he's our mechanical engineer. He worked for American Manufacturing, and he's digitized hundreds of parts for AK Drilling International. But we're actually working with an expert engineering firm who has worked on 3DR drones, who's worked on military drones, to help us take this and make it a manufacturable product, and they're helping us set that up.
So clarify exactly where you are in that process of design, build, proof, commercial.
Yeah, this is where we're at right now. It's a fully functioning prototype.
That doesn't help. No, but so when can you fly something and earn money for it?
We'll be going to market in 9 months, but we're shipping out an early prototype to our first customers, and that's a pre-production model, but production-like, in about 3 months.
Okay, great.
Can I ask you,
Samit.
why haven't you configured yourself to be a service company instead of a product company? It feels like it's a complicated product. To me, this feels like a ripe company where you offer surveying as a service and capture all that margin.
We're getting there. The biggest thing is the survey data this has to be done by professional land surveyors. The data has to be stamped. And so we are working with professional land surveyors. That's how we're getting into the market. They're the people who are buying this.
So your customers are the intermediaries. Is that what you're saying?
The service providers.
Yes, that's
The
our
survey.
first.
Okay.
Exactly, the service provider.
Okay, not the construction companies, not the, okay.
Not yet.
Okay. All right, so one more time. What's an example of what data you deliver that saves me time and money that I can't get another way?
So as a surveyor right now, you may have, let's take Noah as an example. He goes out, he does a bridge inspection. He has to go back to the office or pull out the laptop in the field, look through all the footage or run a quick model in the field and try and reevaluate and evaluate that data to figure out what he needs to look at more. Using our algorithms, using our AI, we already detect those hotspots, and we say, hey, take a look at these spots. You're going to need to do a closer survey on them, collect a little bit more data on them.
Okay, that's what you mean by hotspot. Exactly. A flaw, something. Okay, all right. Any other real quick questions? All right. Thanks, great. Jacob, thank you so much. All right. Okay. All right. Somebody close the door so that they can't hear us deliberating, because we want to be frank, open, and honest in our deliberations.
Have you heard my new song on Alicia?
Yeah. I'm waiting for Justin here to just launch into it. Justin, Rama, Bieber. All right. Okay, 3 companies. Let's just kind of quickly review who we listened to. So we heard Murali tell us the story of Hashcut. So he's figured out a way to use AI to find the highlights in video game videos, the Twitch videos in video games, and then enable, those gamers to publish them. Interesting. So then Maya told us about Alicia and an AI that would help you, even if you're not a musician, you can come up with some words and build a song around it thanks to Alicia, right? Okay. And then Jacob with Apollo Robotics is building a drone that is apparently better, faster, cheaper for doing land surveys, building surveys for developers, construction, mining out there in the world. Boy, pretty different, guys. How do we figure out? We got, right? So we've got Hashcut is sort of consumer facing, right? Though there's a business to business in there somewhere. Alicia is definitely consumer facing. Apollo Robotics is, clearly business enterprise facing. So first of all, what do you guys think about Hashcut? You think there's a unicorn here?
Let me add a comment, because
Yeah.
when I was at Intel Capital, we invested in a company that did something for traditional video.
Right.
I won't name the company, but took any piece of video content and used AI before it was called AI. I think at the time it was just called algorithms, but but did a very, very good job of producing a very nice highlighted component of it.
Did you make money on this deal?
No, the company failed.
But was it before or after Twitch?
That's where I'm going. So
Okay.
that's where I'm going. So never really found the right business, right? And we're trying to sell the consumer, also went to enterprise and said, hey, look, you have these long tail libraries of content. How am I going to get my son to watch Top Gun? Well, maybe we convert it to a 2 or 3 minute version to get him excited to watch the whole thing. So tried all these different things.
Is that called a trailer? I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, okay.
But again, we're more customized. But let's create
yeah.
like 50 different versions of
For
trailers.
different.
The romantic version or the, whatever it is.
Action version.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
now your point. So in my opinion, it's got to be something that you believe in that's fundamentally different from Twitch and Twitch content and
Right.
gaming content.
Okay.
I don't think the technology itself is probably, and he says himself he's using off-the-shelf
Interesting.
AI, so it's not about
Okay.
that. It's got to be that there's, compelling, it's almost like a bet on the market on
Right.
Twitch and gaming content. And,
Right.
and then my question there is that they don't own any of the content, right? They're a tool for others to use, and there's other platforms there. So anyway, I'll stop there, but that's
Right.
sort of
well,
my
okay, but
question.
who would have thought? God, I don't think we would have ever invested in Twitch when it first came out, right? Or Justin TV for that matter, right? So but God, it was amazing. So I don't want to, run the possibility we're going to miss the next Twitch. I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of why I was asking about the vision thing.
Yeah.
I'm not a consumer investor, excluding consumer electronics devices. But I kind of sense because of the gaming thing, there may be something there. And then take it even further, and of course we have limited time on stage here, but little insider knowledge, people, Samsung makes a lot of TVs. So I'm curious, can you port over to actual hardware? How can you make it perhaps semi-exclusive to one platform versus another? Where can you go with this? Because of the success of Twitch, and I do a little gaming too. I know it don't tell anybody. It's huge, right? And now, can you take that kind of human voyeurism of seeing a clip and it's somehow highlighted and edited?
Right.
And where else can you port that? Is this actually bigger than what we in 3
Right.
minutes think it is here?
Right. Well, we think there are other people who are doing the highlights of other videos. So I'm not sure they've got any competitive advantage in plain old video because we've seen those technologies. I don't know. Rama?
So, you've lost money in this space. How did you get hired here?
Rama, my firm did it.
Yeah.
It's another partner, kind of like you.
I'll venture to say this was my favorite of the three, and here's why. I think, as you know, I'm always pounding the table on team and market. Those are my two favorite things to judge a company on.
Yeah.
And if Morley can be a neurosurgeon, I think he can figure this out. The market, the market.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll finish my comment on the market. I'd love to hear your feedback. The market, I agree, is a huge one, but is also being disrupted. The whole esports gaming market is going through a massive disruption.
Yeah. Okay. Shubhra? You're already wired. Okay.
Yeah. I think I'll play a little bit of a devil's advocate here and say I'm concerned about this for those exact reasons. Because on the team side, I'm not sure that I was convinced that they have someone who comes from a deep data analysis AI background, if that's what they're building. And I think that's going to be key. And can they recruit and augment the team? I don't know. So I think I'm a little concerned about that. And I do agree that it could be a very large market. I am a little skeptical about the business model, though. I'm not really sure. It's really hard to get consumers to pay for this kind of stuff because so much of it, 100% of it may not be available for free, or it may not be 100% of the way there in terms of quality or what the product delivers. But if the consumer is able to get 80 to 90% of it for free in terms of the quality or the features that they're offering, even if they're able to piece that together from a variety of products that are available, it's really hard to make the case for the consumer to pay for to get that additional 20%.
But you notice, I mean, at least the way I read his monetization, his freemium model, it looked like most of the money was going to get paid by the businesses, the esports players. That was the far right end of his monetization model, but he didn't give us that breakdown. So, but I agree, it's going to be, you're not likely to get that much out of the gamers. Yeah. You're going to get more out of the intermediaries that are monetizing the gamers.
Yeah, I think you made a comment about Twitch and how it fills a pain point for them. I mean, absolutely would have to do due diligence on that. How does that actually work?
So then let's move along.
Can I say I wanted one comment because I want to contradict Rama because I told him up front. I completely agree the team is hyper important, and the way that I think of it a lot of times is let's assume the idea is commodity. Let's assume that we can all agree that, hey, it'd be great to compress video for gaming.
Okay.
What would be the ideal team I could assemble for that? And is this that ideal team? Well, and I would take the counter view, which is I'd much rather have somebody I'd much rather have a team who has a phenomenal background experience, expertise in gaming, phenomenal background expertise in AI, than perhaps a converted physician.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, Alicia. With all due respects to converted.
Yeah, comments don't apply to doctors to become VCs.
Admittedly is focused on a discipline that she knows really well.
That's okay. Some of our favorite people are doctors. Okay. So, Alicia, let's talk a little bit about Alicia. You know, sort of fun presentation. Mm-hmm. I think that's the first time we've ever had somebody come in and sing to us.
Great demo.
I think, you know, right? Okay. So, all right, thoughts on Alicia? It's beautiful, fun. Is there a business here? Yeah?
Yeah, Bill, that's what I'm wondering about. I think the creativity thing's great. It enables a lot of people to do interesting things. Question I have comes down to market sizing. Is it a fleeting thing? How long do the customers last? Do they do it for 1 month and then they kind of get off it for 8 months and then they go back? Is there a hardcore subset of kind of musicians and artists that will do this every day? A lot of outstanding questions here that I'm wrapping my brain around it and I still can't. We probably have to crunch some numbers, but which is tied to the business model. How do you actually make money?
Right.
Not clear to me.
Right. Anybody have any? Yes.
Yeah. And I think the business model remains to be figured out.
Okay.
But I would say that this one was one of my definitely my favorite one of the three.
Oh, interesting. This is going to be, okay.
Mm-hmm. It's because in these early stages, the stage at which we are seeing these companies, we're very founder-driven and very team-driven. And I love the founder. She's clearly passionate about this. At this early stage when we were investing in a company, there's not that much data to see. So we are really backing the founder's vision and their commitment to that vision. I see that commitment in her. And also from the team perspective, she mentioned she has someone on the team who has 8 or 9 years of experience managing a team of data scientists at Amazon, or I don't remember what company. A big component of what they're doing is going to be AI. And so I think having that strong founding team is going to be great. And the other piece that I would say is early traction. So even though
750?
750. I don't know how much time they have taken to get to that. And that's why I tried to dig into it, but there wasn't enough time, how active those people are on their platform. And how have they acquired those 750 users? Has it been word of mouth? Are these paid acquisitions? Like how have they acquired these users? So I think with a little bit more digging into that, and depending on how much time they've taken.
I agree with one part of your analysis, Shubhra, which is the team. She definitely checks the box. She has that passion. She comes from a relevant space.
Wait. I got to push back on you guys. I mean, this is a PhD professor at Santa Clara. I mean,
she's a musician.
But I mean, okay, when was the last time you knew a musician who was a great business leader?
Snoop Dogg, Jay-Z. I mean, Dr. Dre.
They've got teams.
Okay, I'm sorry. Hey guys, I'm just checking. Okay.
No, but I think
You made us pass on beats.
Okay, JC.
No, I think
take me out of this hole.
in this category, and I have heard. I don't invest in the music space, but I have heard a lot of VCs say, "I don't touch music." And so I think one technique we could kind of share with the audience is what I would do is get out there and talk to VCs that have invested in the music space.
Well, JC, you remember we invested in Pandora. You don't remember this, do you? Okay, so Tim Westergren shows up. Okay,
but I don't want to name other companies, but there's some other ones that raised a ton of money, maybe had mediocre outcomes, and I keep hearing from multiple VCs like we don't touch music. And
those are the guys that invested.
So I would want to talk to them to learn more. And if they've got good examples, great. Those are really positive comparables. And if they got bad examples, you add those into the list too, and then you have to hash it out.
Okay.
Yeah, my quick commentary here is I sort of, as I was trying to think about, or trying to wrap my brain around who would use it, and I think the serious musician is probably not the right consumer for this. They're going to be serious and have all the stuff they've got.
They want to be authentic.
Yeah, and so what it reminded me of would be the things like Smule and T-Pain's, what was the T-Pain app? Things like that, which are these interesting, fun sort of party apps, right? We actually invested in one that did very well, which was a social karaoke application that was very big in China. And it was,
I knew that was good.
Yeah, and it was a huge, but it worked well. Now, the thing is, these were all things that happened 5 years ago when application distribution was relatively more simple than it is today. Today, it's virtually, how do you...
Noisy.
It's incredibly noisy. It's almost impossible to do that. And so...
So I want to I want to touch on Apollo. So we're getting squeezed here. So that, because the term sheet is exploding any minute now, right? So Apollo Robotics. Thoughts on Apollo Robotics, right? So they're digitizing the world. We were struggling, well, I know, some of us were struggling a little to get a little more clarity in exactly what was going on there. What do you guys think of Apollo? Shubhra.
Yeah, I think I'm just skeptical. I would stay away from it just because I think Rama brought it up earlier. This is a regulatory landmine right now. Like there's new regulation coming out every day, and it is hardware. I didn't see someone on the team that has 20 years of building and manufacturing that kind of stuff. Like I'm just skeptical because I think it's going to be a much more painful road, and so I don't know that it's a venture scale business.
Okay, yeah, I'm struggling, it seems like you got to acquire these one at a time, but he's going through these intermediaries, right? So these intermediaries who have lots of customers, And I think the regulatory thing is a little bit of a red herring, because I think
agree.
they're doing constrained digitization, right? They're doing, as I think I saw it, it's constrained to a particular construction site or mining site. So I think they're in a zone that is reasonably okay, I think, but maybe we got to figure this out. JC, did you have
Bill, I think you were kind of trying to drill on this a little bit, which is the uniqueness. So,
Yeah,
you know, we
right.
looked at drones a couple of years ago that were all B2B, and we kind of stopped tracking it for a while because it wasn't a fit for us. But I can tell you, within 10 minutes drive of here, I know of at least 2 drone companies that they're competing with. I know a third one that's extremely strong out of Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
So right out of the box, they've
Yeah.
already got fierce competitors that have customers and revenue and have already raised money.
Yeah.
Some of them actually have some proprietary hardware. Most of them are focused mainly on the software side.
Right.
But it's just, to me, it's a competitive thing that, you know, I wish I'd seen you guys 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I think
Anything else,
where my last question to him was,
Yeah.
to me, you know, assembly of a lot of existing off-the-shelf components, very, very complicated product, service providers in the mix. To me, this is like classic definition of what should be a services company. You ought to be going with the intermediaries and say,
Yeah.
for every survey, use our stuff, pay us whatever it is, $500, use our stuff. If it genuinely saves you time, effort, energy, more, and resources, then the $500 you pay for each survey that you do using our equipment ought to be more than justified on your savings. So
Right.
to me, that's the business model this ought to be,
Yeah.
and that's probably not a venture back.
And real quick, I disagree. I think you can build a product company in this space, but I do agree with you. It's a crowded space, and I'm worried about competition. In fact,
Yeah.
I wish he had a competition slide to show us
know.
why he was different.
Yeah. So, okay. So those are the 3 companies. Hey, gang, you know, we got all these worker bee associates. What did we, are we missing something? Are we misunderstanding something? No? Yes? Anything? What are we missing?
So Elon Musk is, you were building this car, autonomous car, without a LiDAR, right? So if they could remove the LiDAR completely and just do it based on like thermal and camera, I think this could be even cheaper to manufacture.
Okay, but that's not the business. I mean, so the technology, okay, so maybe there's some technology, yeah?
So I'm thinking that you're overcomplicating the Apollo because the space is a lot bigger than what you think. I work with a lot of drone research with the University of Southern Mississippi, and
Yeah.
that's some of the things that we're doing in one of my companies.
Uh-huh.
And I think they're on it. I think they're on to something, especially with
And you don't work for Apollo, right?
I'm looking at them because they are working with Verizon, which is one of the things that we do.
Okay.
And they're dead on what they're doing.
Okay. I think she's right. I think it is a big market, you know, and we're not crystal clear that these guys have a unique solution that isn't, you know, that a lot of other people aren't chasing. So I don't think we're doubting the size of the market. So I think we understand it's a big market, but winning the deals and scaling against competition, I think is tough. Okay, so where are we now? Are we ready to just do a straw poll vote between, we got Hashcut, Alicia, Apollo Robotics. So, we got to invest in one of them. So who wants to invest in Hashcut?
I do.
I'd say of the gambles, that would be the gamble I take.
Wow. Okay.
That'd be the gamble.
That means, okay, so nobody, so you were Alicia? Are you Alicia? You're
much
Alicia. So even if I side with you, I can't sway the group.
Don't you want
Well, you have a good argument. Yeah, you can win one.
to win?
Yeah, you can try.
So I gotta, that is interesting.
You shouldn't side with anybody. If you
Why
feel it's
not?
Apollo, then you should go for Apollo. It doesn't matter.
Okay, no,
You
I
should-
mean,
you should-
I think in terms of business opportunity, I actually think Apollo has the most direct path to monetization. The question is this competition, unique value proposition.
Sure,
I mean,
it's already defined.
right. And they were the only ones who put up real numbers. I mean, even though they were just LOIs, but so I'm not sure we believe them. But I do think, they have the most direct path to making money as a business.
The reason there's a lot of competition is because there's a lot of dollars in that market. So
Right.
That's a good point.
To our associate's point here, right?
And it's direct, right? It's very monetizable as direct, or you deliver something and you get paid for it, right? It's like,
So, I think we're enthusiastic about Hashcut because, we have this Samsung bias sort of in the team.
I don't know what a Samsung TV is. I'm not biased.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, because we miss Twitch and we think, ooh, that's kind of cool, that's kind of hot. There's a lot of money in sports.
They're right behind you, by the way.
There is a lot of money. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of money in, but there's a lot of money in music as well.
Bill, I was going to tell you they can hear everything.
But it feels like we're on Hashcut. Do you want to fight, bleed, and die for Alicia?
Can I fight, bleed, and die?
Yes, you can. But the end result may be you're just dead.
Fine. That's fine. Been dead many times.
All right. So, fight, bleed, and die for Alicia.
So what do you guys see in Hashcut that is?
No, you're fighting for a different company. You got to talk about them.
Oh, well, what I want to understand is what is driving your decision making, and then I can highlight why those drivers exist in the case that I'm making.
So I hear you guys thinking it's hot.
I mean, I think for me, it's more simply, in the other two, I saw bigger gating items. So the way I presented it was, if I was going to make a bet on one, that's the one that to me had the least of the big, questions. So I had a question mark on Apollo's business model, like a big one.
They've got one game.
Yeah.
They've got one game, and they still haven't figured out how to sell anything.
Yeah.
Right?
They don't know their business model.
I get it, but again, it's a little bit of a little bit more of the market is
we're paying you for a leap of faith? Is that what you're saying?
You're paying me for a lot less than a leap of faith.
We've made a lot of money backing athletes, so to speak.
Yes.
People who've accomplished a lot in their field, whether it be music or neuroscience. And I got a good feeling from Morley. There's that X factor there that
the neurosurgeon turned gamer.
You're being driven by one word.
And so look, my rubric, as you know, is team and market. So I think if you look at Alicia, they've got a great team. That market, I have serious concerns about monetizing. And if you look at Apollo, again, great team, but the market is too crowded for me. So that's why I side with Hashcut.
Yeah, I think my
process of elimination. Okay, so I'm hearing process of elimination rather than passionate enthusiasm.
That's exactly. So that's where I was driven to Alicia because I was driven to Alicia. I was not choosing between three bad apples.
Not bad apples.
I was not saying
to be clear,
I was not saying if I have to invest in one of these three, then this is the one I will side with. I saw her pitch and I thought it made sense.
With no real, we had to kind of program a business model, right?
Right,
and
but
freemium with app upgrades.
We don't have enough diligence on any of these three companies, right? Like there's a lot more things that we will need to find out before we would write a term sheet for any of these three.
Yeah, of course.
So with the limited information that we have, I felt that she has the right team. I think our view of looking at this as purely an introduction market for artists who want to be frivolous and just socialize the idea that they're singing is a very narrow view. This could be a way to introduce music to kids. This could be a way, I think it can be bigger.
Let me give you one more argument. I think there's more acquirers for Hashcut than Alicia. Because if you look at the...
I'm
getting
sorry.
now. I love it.
There are more buyers for Hashcut?
Acquirers of a company.
Yeah.
Just like...
Oh, of the company.
Yes.
I'm sorry. That's where you're going.
Buyers from...
Acquirers.
So we can make
Exit.
money
Okay.
here.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I think
All right.
in Alicia, my mind immediately went to, a social party application, which, and I'm trying to think about all the other things that it could be, and I find reasons why it can't be that, right? And that's where I'm going to. And in that world, now I'm starting to think about how much it costs to distribute an application. What are the outcomes good for Smule or I forgot what it's called, but
Musical.ly
T-Pain's app,
or-
etc. They're
Right.
nice
Kind of
little
what I
niche.
thought of, right?
They're
There's
niche.
some good
They're fun
outcomes.
little applications that maybe generate cash flow, but probably
Yeah.
not a venture sort of investment. And so that's why
Okay.
I've
Okay, but so you're saying you want to go with the neurosurgeon turned gamer. You want to go with the PhD professor turned, singer.
She's not a turned singer.
Okay,
She's a singer.
she's always been a singer.
So there's a
Okay,
difference.
and I'm just saying we got a tech team that can build drones and really understands data and digitization. Does anybody doubt that Jacob really understands the depths of his business? Does anybody doubt that?
No, but Rama and I think that there are a gazillion others that are already doing it for
Yeah,
years now.
yeah.
So it's competition.
So
But-
there's one final point that I also want to bring to the table
Yes.
here, guys. So in our current portfolio of all the companies we have 10% of the companies founded by female founders.
I was
So-
wondering when this was going to come up.
This is an issue, guys. This is an issue. This is being talked about a lot in the industry right now. And we need to think about what we as a firm are doing to improve that ratio. I am not saying that our decision should be based on that, but it is a factor for us to consider, and we should all go back inside ourselves and check our own biases to see if that is a factor that would, it may or may not change this decision at this point in time, but I just want to bring it up to the table. And
So what
bring it up to our
should we ask our associates what they think?
Oh, Bill, so
Yes? Are you keeping,
one second, yes, one
you're
second.
closing
I want to say
closing the door?
something. I've dealt with probably 2,000 or 3,000 startups over the last 10 years. I'm going to tell you something. These 3 finalists are all going to make it, and it doesn't even matter if they raise money from VCs because the gaming market is exploding and people want to monetize highlights. You're on it. You already have customers, and honestly, Maya is so fired up and passionate about music and what she's doing, and you're right, American Idol or somebody will partner with her, and she'll gamify it somehow, and it'll be like Guitar Hero for creating rhymes while you're driving home. So all 3 of them are going to make it, but we got to make a decision here.
Exactly.
Who gets the trophy?
All right. Any mind changing? Any mind changing?
Not here.
Tough. I'm sorry, Shiva. I tried to help, sort of.
Hashka,
All right.
you're a winner, right?
All right.
Hashka?
So I guess
Hashka?
we're going with Hashka.
Hashka,
We're going
all right.
with Hashka.
Hashka,
Oh my God,
congratulations.
look, there he is.
Wow, we're clapping.
Congratulations. Okay.
And you guys
right.
are winners too. Congratulations, Jacob. You guys did
Okay.
do well.
But having said that,
I will help you myself.
So having said that, I mean, so I hope you guys appreciate what we were trying to do there, but you guys also did a great job. You are all winners. I am confident. To Nima's point, good job. Okay.
Samir, Rama, gentlemen, Shubra, Bill, thank you very much again. This is always really insightful as far as what you guys talk about behind closed doors. And it's interesting that you want to be Justin Bieber. So it's cool. All right. Thank you very much. Guys, thanks for hanging in with us. I hope you enjoyed this. We have a little after party. I want to thank all the volunteers, our team, Yvonne, Caroline, everybody who helped with this, all the great speakers. And hopefully we'll see you next year. We have a little after party going on upstairs. So please join us for that. And peace.